Real conversations, real solutions, real success.
Success is my religion.
And they are. You know, North Carolina teaches me a lot. I talk to her every day, or I try to. All my cousins out there, all my cousin's mom, I still learn from her. Uh, I'm always trying to pay attention. I pay attention to Mike, the things he says, the things that he wants to accomplish, the goals that he set, the bars he sets for himself. I do in my own life. Working hard has you can't work hard. And what are you doing? You're not going to accomplish anything if you don't work hard. So, you know, there's been changes in my life. There's been things that have impacted my life, but as far as that, me just staying focused and knowing that I have to achieve things in order for me to be straight and be successful. You can't help anybody if you can't help yourself. So that's what I learned. I was a 20-year-old guy, fresh to the world, and then I got introduced to some people, and they kind of helped me speed up and grow a little bit. And when they give me advice, it would be, you don't have to do this the way I did it. It would be, put your own little stamp on it. Take a little bit this, take a little bit from that. And it's all about your circle. You can't have people that, wish you success and hate on you while you're in your back. That's not good, but that's a society that we have to deal with, unfortunately. It's not good. It has a lot to do with your upbringing or what you have subjected yourself to. And you have to also learn how to lose and cope with loss. It's not something that you probably want to do or adapt to, but you have to, because it comes with life. Not everybody that you look around or look up to is going to be around forever. That's not how life works.
And losing is the most valuable thing that you can do. You're going to learn a lot more from losing than you are from winning.
Yeah.
So we can win all we want, but if we're not working on the little things that we know is going to really, and we probably should start changing the word from successful to reaching our fullest potential, because reaching our fullest potential, we're going to win all the time. And so
you have to prepare. You have to practice.
You gotta practice.
You can't get good.
You gotta lose sometime. The Chiefs had a great season. They won a lot of games, but they lost in the biggest one. So they have to use that as the motivation, inspiration, and the things that they need to tweak and to get better at. So you can't just win and reach your fullest potential if you got cracks in your armor.
Yeah, because I guarantee you that the Eagles that faced the Chiefs a couple of Super Bowls ago, even though they lost, barely, it's still a loss. And
they went and restructured, and they got some new people. They drafted somebody the next year that ended up being being a key piece to their defense.
Yeah. So I mean, yes, you want to win all the time, but it's sometimes, and I know this is going to give me some flack, but sometimes it's good to lose. Sometimes you don't want to keep winning, because then your mentality is that you can't be beat. And then when you finally get beat, you may take it harder than you normally would because you're so used to winning, not losing. Don't be used to losing. But just being used to winning and taking advantage of the situations that happen, you can still win by losing. And I say that to say this, that if you lose and something, you can take something from that loss to help you be better for the next time, which again I think Jalen Hurts did, because he stayed out on the field the first time they went to the Super Bowl and lost, and he took a photo of him in the what is that, confetti,
the red confetti,
and he made that a screensaver, and then he just had it on his phone. So his mentality going in the Super Bowl was that was not going to be him again. And the football gods and his play and other people playing, it just is not going to take you. If you're on a team, it's going to take a team effort for you to win. And that's in life, that's building relationships, that's having friendships, mentorships, anybody that you look up to. There's a lot of relationships that are just not about significant others. There's so many relationships that you can benefit from, that are relationships that you need to take advantage of and be prideful about. If you have a friend that's willing to take the time to pull you to the side and say, hey man, I've seen you've been doing this, why don't you try this? That's a good friend, because a lot of people don't have to take their time to pull you to the side and say, hey man, do this, or suggest. Not everybody says do this like you have to. You don't have to. That's what advice is. Advice is whatever you take from it, you put your spin on it, and then if you're successful, great. If you're not successful, then you can tweak it. But you have to have that formula in order to win. And you're not going to win unless you try. It's not going to be handed to you. You can't, be on the bench and get a participation ribbon. That's not how the world works. It sounds cool. It sounds like you tried and everything, but do you really want to look at a ribbon for a whole year? Or do you want to look at a championship for a whole year and say, yeah, I did that. I was a part of that.
Yeah, the kid that helped me get my car. We was talking to him, and the people he worked with was talking to him about being late on time, all of that stuff. Yeah. And he was like, "Man, I've been doing it good for a week now. Why don't you give me my flowers?" I was like, "You don't get no flowers for a week. You get your flowers for a year, 2 years. If you did the same thing over and over and over again for 2 years,
y'all want that?
That's a part of the what is it?
The formula. You have to be consistent.
You have to be consistent, but it's part of that. Everybody gets a trophy. Yeah. Era. Like we don't.
Here you go. Great job for a week, buddy. Are you gonna do it next week? No, you're not gonna do it
for next week.
Yeah,
but so. you want positive reinforcement, and you may not get it. Like you may not get an award for 20 years. You might not get recognition for 20 years of your life, and you are good at everything that you do. I ain't got no awards, no nothing significant for the past 23 years since I've been out of high school. My last award was in high school and I got 7 team awards that were given out just by the team. Yeah. So I got 7 of them, and the supposedly best dude on my team got he got like 2 awards. It was like all district, all conference, something like that. But all of the little things, That was all me.
You
They
gotta do
kept
the
on
little
calling
things.
my name for getting awards and stuff.
You gotta take advantage of the little things. You have to be a part of little things because it could grow to something real big. And if you're there watering the seed, helping it grow, being a nurturer or a grower, um, take that how you want. It's advantages of just being there, but you have to contribute. You can't just be on the sideline. This can't be a Mike and CJ podcast, and I'm just listening to Mike talk
Right.
while I'm looking at him. Like, wow, he's saying some amazing things. I'm just not saying anything. That's not how this works. So
Nah,
you have to have a voice. You have to contribute.
in
And you
some
have
form or
to
fashion.
you have to let it be known. But you also have to project that you can do that in order to be invited to do certain things like this. And me and Mike have talked about this for a long time, and we've made jokes about being old and talking on the porch, basically talking like this. Only you getting this gift before we even get super old. There's not a porch. There's a balcony, but
And we had a table in a in a kitchen.
yeah, you got to start out small, and then we can be big. I mean, we can have podcasts on the balcony, a wraparound porch to a mansion. You never know,
Yeah.
but you have to start somewhere. And if you are willing to take advantage of the things that are being foreseen, how I got my job is through a friend. He was like, "Hey, this job is hiring." I said, "Okay." Got a job. Bam. I took off. He went off and worked for the W.R.K.H.R.D company, and he's doing his career thing. I'm doing mine. Um, for me, um, I'm not a big fan of change, but I understand it has to happen, and I've adapted to it. That's another thing that goes through the things of adapt or perish, because if you don't adapt, you're going to perish in certain subjects, and then you're going to be left behind. Um, and that also ties into being committed to excellence. If you're not committed to yourself and the things that you want to do, how you look, how you feel, how people view you, because it matters. You can't just you can't be a shell. You can't be in your shell all the time. You have to get out, and that's what this podcast is all about. It's about you can express yourself so many ways and contribute. You can be in the background if you choose to, or you can be in the forefront. But as far as you just being there, contribute, because your voice could be the voice that some person hears that says, "Oh, well, I can do that. He did it, so why can't I do it?" And that's what this podcast is all about. It's educational. It's informational. It's free game. Um, I'm sure if we were a different society, that it would be different. And it's a culture thing, and you have to be a part of culture. There's a lot of things that don't exist unless somebody set forth and put it together.
And the things that are going to exist in the future are going to be innovations of what we already have. Is what I. That's my theory. And the only way we get to those innovations is if young people are knowledgeable of the things that we have right now.
Yeah.
So
It matters.
if you not if you're not knowledgeable and if you don't want to learn, like so it's going to be a combination. The innovations are going to be a combination of what you know about history, what you've experienced in your life, what you've learned in your life, the knowledge that you seek out, and how you apply that knowledge.
The key word is apply.
And you're gonna have to apply it for a long time, because like I didn't get this work hard philosophy just out of thin air. Like it was a combination of things that happened over a long period of time that stood out to me, and I listened to it, and then I was like, let me apply it in a unique way. Like I in my book, I got work hard on my license plates.
Yeah.
Had work hard on my license plate for three and a half years
Branding.
before I even came up with the acronyms to it. So it's just those things that happen. Like I made that up a long time ago. I almost didn't get the W.R.K.H.R.D on my license plate because I wrote it wrong. I wrote it with 7 characters instead of 6.
Ah.
You know what I mean? I put the W.O.R.K. because I thought I had 7 letters, but they sent it back, and I sent it back with took out the O or the A, whichever one it was, and then that's what we got, W.R.K.H.R.D. And then I was like, okay, what? 3.5 years later, I was like, let me put some acronyms to this, and an acronym is a word with letters that have each letter has a meaning to each letter has a meaning. Yeah. So
I mean, and to piggyback on what are you working hard for? Who are you working hard for? Because it has to be a reason why you're going to work hard. And if it's not for yourself, then maybe you got kids, then you don't want them to go through the things you went through. Like, there's all kinds of different advantages and programs mentally that you can adapt to where you may feel like you never want to be in that space again, or you don't want your siblings to be in that space again, so you try and set an example. I have a sister. I have several brothers and sisters that adopted me. I've adopted them, and it's a tight family. It's a tight knit. Um, Sometimes your cousins can be your brothers and sisters because of the relationship that you have, the mentality that you have, to where it's no lines there. It's just, hey, we're family. We'll stick together. We'll come with a plan. I on my Instagram have been coming across, things like, how you come into a large amount of money, or you have a large amount of money, and you put in a trust, and it takes care of your family throughout the generations as long as they stick to the plan. Now, white people have been doing that for years, and a lot of our people are not going to participate in that because they're afraid of taking a risk, and you can't. There's no reward if there's no risk. So,
but most of us don't have that type of money to be passing along anyway.
we don't.
So getting to the bag is the number one thing that we're trying to do
Individually, but
individually, as a collective too. Like I don't know too many people that can set up a trust. Do you?
Not legally. But that's a goal. That's a goal in mind. So you could
That's
be
what we're trying to get
the first person in your family to do something like that.
Yeah.
And then you can set forth life and be a historian in your own family.
And how do you do that? How do you do that? You gotta go step by step. Like and it's very hard to create something like that because um, you have to undo all of the stuff that your parents didn't undo for themselves, and your grandparents, and you got to go through the generational trauma, and you got to face those generational traumas or generational curses, whatever you want to call it. You got to face those head on as you're going through this process. If you don't, they're gonna come back up and hit you again over and over and over again because you don't understand it. And those things that you don't understand and the lessons that you don't have get from the experiences that you have and the experiences of others that you get as far as advice, like you're gonna get hit on the head time after time if you don't learn that lesson, and it's gonna keep on hitting you in the head because it's a lesson you have to learn to move on to become the to reach your fullest potential.
Yeah, you can be a grower. You can be the first seed to sprout a new plant, or just be able to sprout because generations before you that worked hard and didn't wasn't 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 able to take advantage of the things that were there, or they just didn't have the sources to take advantage to produce it. That's what we're saying. As the world spins, is getting more and more technology is getting better. Because there's generations that add to the stuff that's already invented, or add new stuff, and you just have to be able to take advantage of it. You have to want to take advantage of it. You have to want to be a part of it in order to grow. And if you don't want to take advantage of it, then you're going to be stuck where you are. And if you're happy with the way you are and the things that you're doing and able to do, then that's fine. You always need to do whatever makes you happy. And if you can't make yourself happy, which is the society that we're running into now, is a lot of people are just unhappy. And they look for others to make them happy, and it doesn't work because maybe they're focused on themselves being happy, and that goes to just being committed to excellence. You can't bestow excellence on others if you're not excellent yourself. And there's all types of mental diseases out and mentalities. I say mentalities. It could be a disease. It's science. I don't know, but it's a lot of stuff that's in the world now that I did not grow up with. They didn't even exist, and if it did exist, then it was kept secret because it was something that didn't want to be discussed, or people didn't feel comfortable talking about it. And you have to, in order to get help, you have to trust and believe that certain things need to be talked about. And if you have a confidant or somebody that you can talk to, have real life conversations with, you need to have at least somebody like that in your life.
I'm that somebody. So come talk to me because I'm gonna give it to you straight. Like we're gonna talk through every little thing that is going on because it's not simple. It's not a simple way to do it, especially coming from a disadvantaged background.
Yeah.
You have to consciously be aware of all of the ups and downs and obstacles in front of you, the opponent. So basketball is the number one thing that has uh, helped me shape my worldview about life and just understanding. So understanding basketball. I have a team. I'm a part of a team. I have a coach. I have fans. I have cheerleaders, people supporting you. All of those things. You have opponents. You have you have opposing fans. You have opposing arenas. You have all of these different elements that you have to navigate through in the game of basketball.
Yeah.
And then you have to learn plays. You have to understand the strengths and weaknesses of your teammates. You have to understand the strengths and weaknesses of your opponent. And the ultimate goal is to win the game. The ultimate goal is to win at life. The ultimate goal is to reach your fullest potential. I can't help my team win if I am not at my fullest potential, and or on the way to becoming my fullest potential because you play different seasons. Like, if you're in high school, you play your freshman year, probably on the freshman team. The freshman B team is what I was on. The sophomore team, you could get looked over and not be on JV, not get moved up to JV like I did. And then between your sophomore and your junior year, you work out with your coach in the off season, and
Mm-hmm.
your vertical goes from touching the orange part of the under the rim to two hand cockback dunks
Dunking it out.
all day, jumping over people and stuff like that. That's the progression that you have to have. So all of that, like I'm telling you that it's it's not it's not simple, and you have to be strategic about it. So come to me, come to us, and we're gonna talk that stuff through because there's a whole bunch of elements that go into just the different levels. Like I only played college basketball, small college basketball on the JV team, and that's worlds apart from playing D1 basketball.
Yeah.
So there's different levels to these things and different levels to life, and you can have a coach like me and talk through all of those levels of life and understand where your place is, where you want to go, and how you want to get there. But if we're not talking it through, then we don't know where you stand. That's why I said like y'all gotta tell us in the comments what you think about what we're talking about because we don't know where to take it. That's why we kind of ramble on because there's so many different scenarios that come up that there's not one simple answer to. So if we if it probably seemed like we rambling because we don't know specific individuals, and
Yeah.
we'll try to get some individuals on here, but it's gonna happen.
It's
It's
gonna
gonna happen.
happen. Let us be your guide. We can be your voice. Um, you can do anything that you set your mind to, and that's
With the strategy.
with a strategy, with a plan.
With a plan. And I got the plan. It's the work hard philosophy.
So work hard while see. Books are in stores if you want to purchase them.
They not in the store. On my online store though. On my online store.
Well, if you run into us, we'll get you a book.
I put it in a link.
We'll get you a book.
I put it in the comments.
It's a fantastic book. It's something that you can adhere to immediately, apply to your life, and it's a motivational book. It's a book of trials and tribulations, because there's going to be trials and tribulations, just like in real life. You have to go through things in order to achieve greater things, and if we can help ease the burden of that, then more power to us. If you take our advances and apply them to your life, then you can. Or if you just like a different direction of where life is going, because you have to have all scenarios. So I like to observe a lot. I like to, if I'm around new people, I observe them, their likenesses, their habits, all that. And then, I determine if I can learn from them. And then you have to have conversations that maybe are easy, maybe uneasy. Sometimes a conversation can go real smooth. You can talk about sports and end up talking about life. It just depends on the person and how open they are to express themselves with you. And we are the people that can
Talk it out.
talk it out. Yeah.
We gotta talk it out because there's no one right way to do things. That's why I think my philosophy is so unique, is because it's malleable to whatever circumstances you form it into whatever you need it to be. It just provides the structure to be able to talk it out or to run through it in your mind because this is the way I think all the time. Reverse engineering. What is the goal? I need to I need to go eat something. Well, I probably need to get in the car. I probably need to go somewhere because I ain't got no food here but some cereal. You know what I mean? So like I have to figure out what I have to do so that I can put myself. Yeah, we gotta make a plan. And whether you in high school, whether you're in college, whether you in the workforce, if you are 15 to 25, you need some help. And don't try to figure it all out on your own. Listen to somebody, read some books. If you are in college and you are um, studying real hard and doing all of those things, let us be the voice for let me let me be the advice that you were supposed to get out of those books.
Yeah,
because I read all of them for you.
It's a walking knowledgeable book right here. And you know, that's if you come across this podcast, however you come across it, it's not by accident. So certain things in life happen is not by accident. You just have to take advantage of it and appreciate it and learn from it. And who's to say? You know, you guys could make comments and teach me a different way of looking at different things that I've looked at a certain way for a while. It's all about giving and receiving. So we can give to you, you receive it, you can give it back to us. Because we don't know what's going on in your era. We only know what's going on in our era and how we're being productive in our era and adapting to the era that is being bestowed upon us. And I think that this podcast is going to be very helpful to people that may not want to open up or have questions. You may not have somebody to talk to. I don't know. I mean, but
we're going to figure it out.
We'll figure it out together.
And I'm about to figure out how to get something to eat because I'm hungry.
So that's a wrap.
That's a wrap. My stomach over here growling.